welcome everyone. I appreciate everybody kind of taking the time today to listen to me ramble about dash cameras. We're going to talk about video telematics and what actually changes driver behavior, not just, recording. So, my goal is that you leave here with kind of a clear picture of what the Go Focus Plus does, how it fits into the Geotab ecosystem, and what a rollout could look like in your fleet. So the game plan for today, basically we'll keep it quick. We'll start with why distraction and claims are such a big issue, and then go into why Geotab is the foundation of how to fix these issues. What the Go Focus Plus does and how the coaching workflow actually works. And we'll wrap with a quick pilot case study and some results that I think kind of really bring everything home. So we'll keep it moving. Leave time for questions at the end. There's a QA button, a Q&A at the top. So if you hit that, you can send your question in as you go, and I'll kind of tackle as many as I can. So to start, I'm Jeff Crothers. I'm an account manager at Daikin, and I help municipalities and organizations improve their fleet operations through the lens of safety and productivity. If you're already on Geotab, you'll see kind of how video layers onto what you already have. And if you're not, I'll be upfront, Geotab telematics is like a prerequisite for the Go Focus Plus, but I'll show you why that foundation is the reason why video becomes more valuable and not just like more complicated, right? So, I guess the why now is most fleets don't have a camera problem. They have a risk problem, right? So distraction, close calls, claims, like the time sink of chasing what really happened. This is the reason why video matters, is it turns the he said, she said into context. And it turns coaching from like generic reminders into specific teachable moments. I mean, if you kind of think about the last incident you had, the hardest part usually isn't like the repair. That's kind of, it's kind of autopilot. Somebody, usually somebody in-house can figure these things out, and the repair is not what bogs everybody down. It's the weeks of, uncertainty, kind of like, what triggered this and what patterns led up to it? Was this preventable? How can we prevent the next one? So all these questions are the things that trip teams up. So if the problem is like risk and time and proof, then the next question is like, why Geotab and why now? So Geotab's advantage is the platform. Video is powerful on its own, but video inside like a mature telematics ecosystem is where it turns into really more value for your operations. It's one place, it's one set of drivers and vehicles, and it's just like one workflow that everyone can use. So if you don't have Geotab today, don't think of it as we're buying a camera. Think of it as we're putting a telematics foundation in place, and then we're adding video in to sharpen our coaching, to reduce friction in your claims process, to simplify your incident investigation. So it's more than just, we're going to get a camera and we're going to be able to look around the vehicle. We're going to actually have some actionable insights here. So let me show you the difference between traditional telematics and kind of what video does. So already today, if you don't have cameras, traditional telematics kind of answers the what. What happened? Was there speeding, harsh braking, collision? Were the signals, of collisions, engine codes, trip history, hours of service? All these things that we know and we use today, all super essential. But what video telematics does is it answers the why. So the why it happened. What was there tailgating? Were there rolling stops? Distraction behaviors, obviously phone use, fatigue, were there near collisions that might have been a signal that something was going on? What are the contexts around a risky event? So telematics kind of gives you the receipt, and video gives you the story behind the receipt. So let's connect that to outcomes. What this actually changes in your costs and your risk. Um, so the outcomes that most fleets care about, shown here, are pretty consistent. They want fewer and cheaper claims. I mean, who doesn't? They want stronger defense in the case of litigation. They want to be able to review their incidents faster, not spend so much time getting bogged down in the details and the identification of it all. And they want safer drivers, obviously, with like real coaching that actually sticks. It's not just kind of in one ear and out the other, or a process or a tick on a box. It's like real coaching that actually works. It's not magic, right? It's a repeatable coaching loop that's easier to run than I think most people think it is. So well, let's see, what makes the Go Focus Plus different? The Go Focus Plus is built to reduce friction. It's going to improve your signal quality, so the insights you're getting out should be better, and it'll keep your drivers kind of in focus and at the center of the whole process. It's really the friction piece is it's they've designed it to pair cleanly into my Geotab. So the install is super simple. It's like one cable, just plugs right into the side of the Geotab device. It really couldn't be more simplified. It's auto calibrated. So fewer like, hey, was this camera off by 5 or 10 degrees? False positives like why are we having these issues? Because it auto calibrates, so it solves that piece. Um, when it comes to intelligence, it's like the goal isn't more alerts, it's fewer alerts, and fewer false positives, right? And better alerts that are more actionable and some more confidence in what you're acting on. And so that's really where the real intelligence piece comes in. And driver centric really just is the piece about maintaining privacy, keeping your drivers kind of bought into the process, and a rollout plan that keeps everybody comfortable as we start to expand cameras into our fleet. So what does it really do day to day for your team? I mean, here are the capabilities I think that kind of change the game for fleets. It's got driver assignment using Smart Driver ID for instant and accurate driver identification. That is like a game changer. I'll talk a bit more about that. The driver distraction score. So if people are familiar with Geotab already, they know about the driver safety score. So we're doing a similar thing. We're reducing, these behaviors down to a simple number, so you can really get an idea of how much distraction is going on. And I'll talk more about that shortly. Smart sequences, so the riskiest clips kind of come to you first. Full event context, so what the driver did, what the road looked like, reaction time, all of these things. And then, automated coaching and tracked coaching sessions. So these are the key differences with the Geotab Go Focus Plus that I think bring just a ton of value to your video program, your video telematics program. And so I'll show you the workflow here in a minute. But first, just dive into smart sequences. So it's basically, don't make me hunt for what happened here. It surfaces the highest risk patterns first. So repeat offenders, higher magnitude events, the before, during, and after. So what was going on before this incident, what was going on as it happened and right directly after. And, so that real full picture context, so you're not guessing about it. That's how a safety manager kind of goes from like, I can't manage this. It's a ton to manage to, I could do this every day. I could do this every week and it wouldn't take too much time from me. Moving on to your ADAS, your advanced driver assistance. So, many of you are probably familiar with this already. On the roadside, looking forward, you're capturing things like tailgating, rolling stops. That's a big one. I know a lot of my fleets are excited to have that feature. Near collisions. And the key here is context. So what were the road conditions? Was there traffic congestion? What was the speed? What's actually happening in the front of the vehicle? So that's where ADAS comes in. And this is where you can also like exonerate your drivers, right? So, I mean, good video it's not just there to punish drivers. It documents when your driver did the right thing too. So, but without that video, we're just left to guess kind of what happened. Moving inside the vehicle, we have driver monitoring. So this is, your in-cab DMS. That's where you see your distraction behaviors like phone usage, eating and drinking. We're all guilty of that. Seatbelt compliance, repeat patterns. So the goal is to differentiate. Like, is this a one-off behavior? Is this something that needs like a reminder about that we shouldn't do that, or is this a habit that actually needs coaching? So let's connect the events that we're seeing in cab into a coaching loop that doesn't just like overwhelm your team, right? So the coaching platform, think of this as, events kind of lead to recommendations, lead to coaching sessions. So the system organizes the work for you. So your team just spends time on coaching and not sorting through clips and events and trying to make sense of it. So in the first window here, it's the driver coaching recommendations page. So you can identify your highest and lowest risk drivers. You got filters by severity of the event. You can group the events, and it's got AI generated insights as well. So it can kind of highlight trends that might be forming. The next page is your coaching sessions page. So once a coaching session is approved, it becomes, oh, sorry, I just lost my screen here. Once it's approved, it becomes available for you to manage. Just bear with me for a second here. Oh, here it is. Drivers receive push notifications on the mobile app, allowing for self-coaching. So that kind of takes the initial steps kind of out of your hands. They can review it with a safety manager, or if there's questions or disputes, you can discuss it. So it allows for easy two-way communication. And then the last screen here is the coaching sessions page. So again, just an easy way to view all of your coaching sessions in one screen. Moving on, so helping your fleet manager. So really, where the system I think benefits fleet managers is you get a simplified driver assignment scheme. You get a prioritized list of what matters. You get full footage context, and you get a coaching record that you can actually use. So it really simplifies coaching for fleet managers. I mean, most fleets probably end up like standardizing a weekly kind of rhythm. Like, we'll review it, we'll coach, we'll log it, we'll look for trends. We kind of flip it on its head with an AI enhanced workflow with like built-in recommendations. Sorry, so you can right from the jump, you've got great insights that you're working with and a really good plan for dealing with them. And for drivers, the best coaching happens in like right in the moment, right? Not 2 weeks after something happens, but for me personally, when I drive on the Daikin fleet, we've just got like even something simple like when you're speeding, having your Geotab device beep at you. It's like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I can self-correct here. And so we augment that experience with the Go Focus Plus with like audible alerts. It can actually talk to the driver. Hey, you're speeding, slow down. Hey, you're distracted, you're on your phone, get off your phone, right? And there's also driver-friendly mobile workflows that help drivers self-correct without turning it into a big escalation. So right on their app, boom, they open it up. Oh, this is what I need to do. This is what I've done, and we can work through it. So really powerful stuff there. I guess I'll take a moment to just pause here. And if there's any questions, you can shoot them out real quick. I know that's a lot about kind of, coaching and everything that we discussed. So just take a 15-minute mark. Any questions about that stuff? And then we'll move on into a deep dive about, not a super deep dive, but just an overview of the hardware and the install and because that's really where camera projects can like succeed or fail. So we'll do a little deep dive into that. So it's just a quick hardware tour. It's just enough to answer, what are we installing type questions. So you've got continuous recording and event capture. It's tamper-resistant design, so you've got integrity in your footage. Built-in speaker and mic for in-cab alerts. An event trigger button, so if something happens on the road, we press that event trigger button, and we've got a nice piece of footage that won't go away that we can review together. And it's kind of strong video quality. Obviously, it's a high def camera, and it's really helpful in low light. So this is it's a robust, rugged, dash camera. The capabilities of the camera. Let me see here. So there are a few capabilities. Really, this slide is from when the camera first launched in September. So some things are continuing to roll out, and that's even evident today. I think over the next few months, there's more features that are going to be coming through Connect next month, Geotab's annual event. Some things are going to be announced, but it shipped with a lot of these already. So you've got your advanced AI models built in, live streaming, the ability to add an extension camera, NFC built right in, so you can, and we'll talk about that, but you can tap an NFC fob right on the camera to sign in, so you don't need the additional NFC reader piece. In addition to automated driver assignment, which that's my favorite, so we'll go into that. But a lot of great features that you'd expect from a modern dash camera. Wi-Fi hotspot. So really good stuff there. Um, a quick review here of the aux cameras which are coming. So I believe this is going to be expanded even further, but it's essentially showing kind of configuration options. I mean, really, the headline, it's designed to be a true video telematics layer in Geotab. So you're going to have everything you need to get the most value out of that. Skipping along to driver assignment. So I guess one of the kind of unglamorous ways that camera projects fail is like messy driver assignment. So the Go Focus Plus gives you multiple paths, from like a manual to like an assisted driver assignment to like a fully automated driver assignment, depending on how much control you want, and how your operation runs. So with traditional NFC here, so we're familiar with this, right? It's carrying a key fob on your key ring, tapping it when you log in. So that's all built into the camera. So great simplification of your hardware there. And we've got Smart Driver ID. So this is about reducing your admin. So you can start with a suggested driver matching, and then the manager like approves. So say there's an event, it'll suggest who it thinks the driver is, and then a manager would be able to actually manually assign that or just approve of that assisted assignment. And then eventually you can move toward like fully automated assignment. Um, so, I mean, really, it serves everybody. Like there are fleets that want like operational simplicity, and they're okay with automated, just the system just assigning, and it gets better over time, right? And then there's some who want to be able to roll it out in a more controlled way. So really, the Go Focus Plus will suit whatever your management style is. For privacy, I mean, we know how important privacy is to our drivers, right? That getting their buy-in is crucial to rolling out a good camera program. Um, it makes or breaks adoption, really. So with the Go Focus Plus, you've got options. There's the road facing only configuration. So we're just looking at the road. We're just using ADAS. There's the in-cab cover accessory. So we can cover the front cameras, so that can give them like a real physical peace of mind if we're not rolling out that functionality yet. You can disable the in-cab camera from within My Geotab. So software solution to turn it off. And there's also like using the lens as a sensor. So there's no in-cab video, but the AI can still detect behaviors and provide alerts without recording in-cab video. So I have a demo of this, I believe. Yeah, so this is what it looks like here. So you would still kind of have your road view, but the in-cab view would be disabled. Jumping right into video coaching. So the day-to-day, like how does somebody actually use this? With the video events overview, you get filters, so like date and driver and more to help you surface the events that you care about. And you can isolate, your high magnitude events right away, quickly. You can create combined scenarios like, tailgating while distracted, right? So you can coach what you actually care about, like real disruptive, real risky behaviors, and not just kind of one-off things that might have happened. Somebody was actually tailgating while distracted and either had a near collision or actually, unfortunately had a collision, right? So the video events overview page lets you kind of get a good glance of that right off the top. The video events trips history. Uh, it gives you a video events right as you're kind of scrubbing the timeline of your trip and where the driver went on that trip. So you can see exceptions on the timeline without bouncing between tools. So you won't need to download clips or anything. You can still use your filters, and you've got a breadcrumb trail like with video snapshots you can follow, and you can easily jump to where an event occurred, and then you can request like a custom snippet of video. So that is the video events in your trip's history. So that's a really convenient feature. And then there's a video coaching insights. So with video coaching insights, you get fleet and driver trends and moments. So you're not just kind of watching clips, you're managing behavior patterns. You can view the coaching insights by event or by score. You can easily find the most severe events corresponding to like recent changes. It takes like a snapshot of the past couple of weeks. So you can see this one, I believe here, it says increase in rolling and stop, or increase in rolling stops. So the insight noticed an increase in rolling stops over the past 14 days. So that's a helpful insight, and you can find that right away. The driver distraction score, as I mentioned before, those familiar with the driver safety score will appreciate this. So it's Geotab's way of turning a lot of complex driving data into one simple number that's easy to understand. They do it in 3 steps. So it measures how often specific driving events happen, risky and non-risky, right? So you have a baseline. Then it weights each event dynamically based on how much it contributes to overall collision risk. Then it converts that risk into a standardized score. So it's 0 to 100 using a 30-day rolling window. So I guess the key thing is the score reflects actual performance, and it's kind of comparable across drivers. Like everybody has a score. So if everyone drives perfectly, everyone will be near 100. If performance drops, then the scores would drop like accordingly. So you can see how this shows up in practice with the driver card and like a leaderboard. If you've ever used driver safety scores, it's each time you get an event on the road, a rolling stop or a distracted driving, it'll lower your score from 100. So everyone kind of starts with a clean slate, and then we have a chance to get judged by our actions. The Geotab video app. So you also get access to this. So it's more for the fleet manager, and it supports like the install and ongoing use of the camera. You can use it to configure rules, review insights, and your active coaching sessions. Uh, I'd say for a lot of fleets, this is probably the one differentiator that reduces rollout friction because the workflow is more clear for supervisors and drivers. You have control over the whole thing right from this app. So that's basically the camera in a nutshell. I've got a case study here I'll go over quickly that will show you some of the results you can hope to achieve with having a camera like this installed in your fleet. There was a 90-day pilot with a large fleet in the US where the goal was to evaluate the dash cam solution to help address safety culture within the organization. And they did it with 3 clear phases. So a 30-day like baseline where they didn't implement any changes, just to see kind of like what's normal, what does normal look like for our fleet, and then 30 days of in-cab coaching only, and then a further 30 days with in-cab coaching and direct driver coaching. So it was 15 vehicles, and they were all using the GoFocus Plus. And there was a few like practical criterias here that this screen outlines. So accurate safety metrics, how easy what is coaching to use, how seamless was the integration, how simple was the installation, what's the day-to-day management like, does Geotab deliver key differentiators beyond like another camera system, basic cameras, not AI cameras, not smart cameras. The fleet also aligned on what they wanted to get out of it. So they wanted a solid baselining. They wanted event detection. They wanted proof of the coaching effectiveness. They wanted an improved safety culture. They wanted driver buy-in, which is super important. They wanted better incident analysis. They also wanted to exonerate like drivers that were doing a good job, right? For accidents or property damage. Like if it wasn't their fault, we want to know about that. And ideally, I mean, they wanted lower insurance premiums, and we talk about this a lot, right? So that's super important. So just let's jump into the data real quick. First up is cell phone use. So looking at cell phone use of events per 100 miles, you can see the story pretty clearly. So there's the first 30 days on the left, in the middle is the in-cab coaching, and on the right is the driver coaching. In the early weeks, we're sitting like mid to high single digits. Of cell phone usage per 100 miles. So it's like the highest is 11. They used, the average was 11 cell phone touches in 100 miles. So that's our baseline. It's a lot of distraction, to be honest. Like in 100 miles, that's not that far. We're using our phone 11 times on average, quite a bit. Once we turn on audio alerts, you can imagine the rate drops fast, right? And it's stabilized between 2 to 4 events per 100 miles. So like if you average 7 to 11, we're cutting it in half basically. That's a step change. And then when you add driver coaching on top of the alerts, it falls again roughly to like 0.2 to 0.5, and it stays low week over week. So we can see from that, this 3-step measured approach shows, alerts help immediately. Coaching like locks in that change in behavior. And that had a real impact over those 90 days. Smoking, so same view basically, but for smoking in 100 miles. In the baseline period, we're consistently around 2 to 4 smoking events per 100, with a high point just over 4. So it's a steady issue. It's not just one-off. When audio alerts start, we're dropping down to well under 1 smoking event per 100 miles. And once we had driver coaching, it's like pretty close to 0. There's one period there where they onboarded some new joinees, and it spiked, but that's likely just onboarding related, not like a backslide. You can see that by the following week, it's cut down again. So the key takeaway: alerts reduce it fast, and then coaching keeps it down, even like as the mix changes. Tailgating events this is dramatic. Look at how high it is. Roughly 150 to 270 events in baseline per 100 miles of tailgating. That's quite a bit. A lot of following too close going on there. Once we move into the next phase, you'll see tailgating rule was modified, and after that, the event rate drops sharply. It drops to 18 on the first week. Second week, we're down to 2.2 instances of tailgating per 100 miles, down to 1.75. So that's just in-cab coaching. That's just, hey, you're following too closely. The camera says that, and people slow down. And then obviously with driver coaching and audio alerts, it's right down. It's barely happening now at that point. So we cleaned up the rule. We're measuring the right thing, and then the real-time alerts and coaching keeps tailgating under control. And finally, rolling stops. And now this is a huge get, I think, for the system. I hear about this all the time before this camera came out. We want to cut down on rolling stops. It's a big problem for our fleet, and so we have that. And look at it. We're sitting at 10 to 15 rolling stop events per 100 miles. First week we kick in audio alerts, it drops down to the lowest of the baseline indicators, and then second week of audio alerts turned on, we're right down. So, hey, you rolled through that stop sign, make sure you're stopping. Just a simple little verbal indicator. Hey, you need to change some behavior here, and people listen. It drops almost tenfold. And then once we bring in the automated alerts with the driver coaching, we're almost below. Well, we are in the last 3 weeks. We are consistently below one event in 100 miles. So that's fantastic results that were shown here on this pilot program. And this is why kind of video and coaching beats just video only. The goal is not to just catch people, it's to change habits. And I think that this pilot really shows how habits can be changed with audio alerts and the driver coaching aspect that GoFocus Plus introduces to your camera rollout plan. So I mean, really, to bring it all together, if you're already on Geotab, the conversation is, where will video give us the fastest risk reduction by region, vehicle type, driver segment. We can get all those insights. And if you're not on Geotab yet, the conversation is, how quickly can we stand up Geotab as the foundation and then add GoFocus Plus where it has the best ROI. So that's really all it is. And I'll just wrap to say that the behaviors, phone use, smoking, tailgating, rolling stops, you see the same pattern every time. Coaching keeps it down, and even as the drivers change, it's living inside of Geotab, and it just becomes part of the workflow that you have, and you're really going to see the dividends with a system like this. So I'll shift into questions if anybody has them. Somebody just join. Let's let them in here. And also, if there are no questions now, I'm happy to receive questions afterwards by email. I'll also follow up on this webinar. You're going to get an email with a copy of the slides and presentation and an opportunity just to get in touch with us. The best move is, we can put together a short working session. We can map out, your top risk scenarios. We can get data like, what do you want to measure? We can visualize what a pilot would look like, put a pilot plan together for you. We'll talk about scope, what would be your success criteria? What is the coaching rhythm ideally for your fleet? Privacy. So if we want to do like a phase deployment, we can work that into our rollout plan. So from there, we can kind of put together like a real comprehensive rollout for your team. And we're happy to do like a working session with you to sit down and see what that looks like. So if that's useful, book time with me. We'll shoot the follow-up email. You can do that there. Just reach out. We're happy to work with you on rolling out video telematics for your fleet. And that's really all I have. I think we're at 30 roughly. I just went over it by a little bit. So I'll wrap it up. My name is Jeff, and I appreciate everybody for joining today. And yeah, thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your day.